Sketchpod.
Did you ever kick a guy out right when, is there any reason you went, no, I've decided not to?
There was one guy I had to sleep with a knife under my pillow.
That sounds lovely.
Wow.
Well, I was working at a clothing store called Club Monaco, and they were doing some construction, and there was this total blue collar, like Guido, who was so hot. He was wearing like white carpenter pants, and I was just like, eh. and for some strange reason, he ended up being kind of gay. He had a wife, and he was like, what are you doing late after work? And I was like, are you flirting with me? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, here's my number. He gave me his number too. So I was a little drunk when I got home, and I called him, and I got him in trouble. I guess I got him. His wife was like, "Who's that bitch on the phone?" Like, everyone thinks I'm a girl on the phone. You can ask. American Express does not know Garry Hannon is a male.
Yeah.
They just will not is Miss Hannon every time. So the woman that I called, she picked up. So he comes over and he shows up in a car service with every possession he owns.
Oh no!
His wife kicked him out because I called him, and she thought I was a girl, and she thought he was cheating on her with me. So he's like, "Yeah, my wife kicked me out. I'm gonna have to stay overnight." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, he had like 16 trash bags.
Wow. Oh my God.
In my house.
Oh my God.
And then he was a big pothead. So he's like, "Do you have any porn?" I'm like, "Yes." I put on gay porn. It was very handsome, but it was so halfway through. He's like, "There's cameras in here. I know there's fucking camera. You're gonna tape this?" And I was like, going,
"Wow."
I was like, do 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 do. I've got a Looney Tune in my house,
right?
So the thing is, we had sex twice. We had sex once. We both came, and I went to bed. I actually went in the kitchen, grabbed a knife, put it under my pillow, and I laid there the whole time. And then like 2 hours later, he was horny, and he's like, "Can you come in here again?" And then he started going, "I know there's cameras in that crate right there." I was like, "Oh my God, shut up."
Oh my
So like 7 in the
God.
morning, I was like, "You have to leave. You can't stay." He's like, "Where am I going to go?" I'm like, "I don't know. Not here." So I gave him $25 to get a car service to go back home.
Nice.
Know how to pick a winner, don't you, Gary?
And I win.
And then this happened.
The worst meal I've ever had is actually I cooked it. I was probably 12 or 13.
Are you a good cook? Do you cook?
I am actually a good cook. I'm a good home cook.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least my husband says he likes my cooking. But he has to.
He better say it.
And he better say it again.
Yeah.
He's also hungry.
Exactly. No, I was teaching myself how to cook, and I was making breakfast for my stepbrother and I was making eggs, and I got out the food coloring. And I don't know why I'm going to make colored eggs. And the color that came out was literally just like this putrid green brown color.
What were you going for?
I don't really remember. I think turquoise.
Yes.
So you're just mixing.
Yeah. I took a bite and I literally threw it up just because I was staring at this color and I couldn't get it down. And it was just, that was it.
Your brain was like, don't eat that. Don't eat that.
No.
Mm-hmm. Smells fine,
I
but
don't
eat it.
eat eggs to this day. I can't.
Really?
No.
Ruined yourself on egg?
Yeah.
Any sort of cooked egg?
I don't like eggs.
Did you fuck anything up?
I've never fucked up anything.
On the stove,
Actually, I do remember being really ambitious. This one time, I had gotten this recipe for curried lentils.
Oh, God.
They were really spicy and delicious. Like, somebody brought them into a potluck at work.
Oh, God.
Oh, you must share this recipe
I was like,
with
these
me.
are delicious. I tried to cook them at home. I'd never cooked lentils before in my life. I don't think I'd used curry. I was still in the early stages of my learning to cook montage. Right? And I hadn't started watching Good Eats or anything. But my husband had gone to culinary school, and so when it failed and the spices didn't taste right and the lentils were just foul and not crunchy, I had some kind of a meltdown. And I had to be talked off a cliff, and I cried.
Tears were involved, I'm sure.
Oh, I cried. I'm not good. I can't do things.
What's your speciality? Tell the world what your speciality
No, this isn't a speciality. This is me trying.
What's chicken a la Daniel?
It's me trying to impress my boyfriend at the time. We had eaten enough dinners together that I knew that he's one of those people who could just, go in the kitchen and clang some pots and throw things in a pan and I think I'll do a little
Eggplant
bit of
parm.
working. I'll do a little bit more of this, and then it's delicious.
Roast chicken with a cream sauce.
So I said, well, I can do that. I can mimic those actions and have it turn out to be cuisine as well. So we made arrangements for him to come over to my apartment, and I made chicken breasts with a honey mustard sauce, homemade. Made it myself.
Yum.
I think they were sautéed chicken breasts.
Yeah, just in pan. Served over egg noodles.
Okay.
But then sprinkled over the top, and I had decided that these tastes would go well together, was diced pepperoni. Yeah. So, and this was really the first time that I cooked for him. And
Haven't made it since.
haven't made it since. I wasn't following a recipe. I was just saying, I bet I like these two things. I bet they'll go well together. They didn't go well together.
We should recreate that dish.
No, we shouldn't.
And then this happened.
Hi, I'm Droege, and this is my New York story. I grew up in Lincolnton, North Carolina, which is just an hour west of Charlotte. It's a bustling mecca. I had a New York Magazine subscription that I had for at least a year and a half. I had seen lots of movies about Manhattan, Working Girl, and others. Just, I knew the city, like I know this. And I had been one other time before, briefly, in 1991. We stayed at the Doubletree in Times Square, and Belle Biv DeVoe were staying at our hotel. So that was just how I lived that weekend. With my family, very classy establishment, free breakfast. And we saw the pivotal, groundbreaking, edgy, avant-garde theater pieces called Phantom of the Opera and Miss Saigon. You wouldn't know about them. Anyway, I did. I saw it, I experienced it, I lived it. Things happened in front of me. For graduation from high school, my parents let me take a trip anywhere I wanted to go, and I said, well, naturally, I have to go to my city, New York. I was an aficionado. I'd been to the city before, I had read this magazine, I knew who Charles Busch was. You know what I mean? I got it. Some things the family wanted to do that I didn't want to do, like I wanted to see Ralph Fiennes do Hamlet, but instead my family insisted that we go see Congo in the movie theater. Congo, which I lost. I, to this day, didn't ever get to see Ralph Fiennes do Hamlet. But we were going to see Glenn Close and Sunset Boulevard. I knew what both of those things were. I was into it, way into it. I saw, introduced in the program, Alice Ripley. I've never heard of her before. She's in this. Great, I'm learning, all right? The second thing we went to see was a god-awful revival of a shit show named Showboat, starring someone who I had no idea who she was, named Elaine Stritch. I had no clue who Elaine Stritch was. I don't know how I'd missed it. I was like, I think she was on The Cosby Show. That's all I know about this woman. And she was on The Cosby Show. She was playing Parthy, and she was supposed to be 40. Now, this was in 1995, and she was 82 at the time. And I see this ancient clown come on stage with like a side growl and turning out to the audience. It seems like she's improvising. She's not saying these brilliant lines written by, Rodgers and Hammerstein, Rodgers and Hart. Who wrote Showboat? Who cares? It's horrible. It's a horrible display of racism. It's 3 hours of Old Man River and then other things. I hated this woman so much. I was like, how dare you? What are you doing on Broadway? My parents have paid very good money for us to sit on row triple P in the back and watch this piece of garbage, and you're ruining things. Your name is Parthy. I hate you. Then in the second act, she's supposed to be singing a lullaby to her new grandchild, which I'm like, she's a granddaughter that's an infant? How did that happen? And I remember when she was like singing a lullaby and she's like, why do I love you? And I was like, that fucking kid is deaf or forever damaged in some way or another. And every time her name would come up for years. I would be like, oh, I saw that woman in Showboat, and she was terrible. She's a horrible actress. And it wasn't until years later that I obviously really discovered Elaine Stritch, and I saw like the Making of Company documentary, and I saw At Liberty, and I've seen her, on 30 Rock and on stage since then, and she's brilliant. Yeah! But not according to this 18-year-old theater snob in 1995 from Lincolnton, North Carolina. She wasn't having it. And that's my New York story.
And then this happened.
Senior photos, awful.
Mine's bad.
Why is it bad?
Because my mom had this thing with me growing up where she's like, any special occasion, she would want to put my hair in hot rollers.
Hot rollers?
I had that. Well, ours weren't hot. We had the cold spongy ones
loved
that you
it.
sleep on.
She loved it. She did the sponges to me when I was a kid. I hated it. I'd always like straightened my hair in high school, and it was like hot, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. It's time for my pictures. My mom's like, you're gonna curl your hair, like please do it for me, like I love that look. And I just looked ridiculous, like the cowardly lion, just like curled up around my face. Like I didn't look natural. She made me wear lipstick, which also wasn't my thing at the time, and so like my senior photo doesn't look anything like me.
And did you have to have it done, or did you have to?
There was a photographer that came to the school, and it was like there was a deal through the school, so you could hire that one.
I gotcha.
And then there was another, oh my God, I totally forgot about this. There was a second session that my mom hired. She took me to these people who were photographers for a living, and like they were like posing me with all these outfits that they had, and like with hay bales.
Yes.
And I remember like just not wanting to have that done. And
yep, wholesome photos.
I was like, Mom, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't want these. And so she picked me up after track practice, and I refused to shower. And I was like, fine, and this is what you're getting. So like I was like, my hair looked greasy. Anyway, they're still all over the house, so.
You forced to sleep on the curlers?
As a kid, I was.
Oh, how horrible.
It was. And there were so many variations of
How
the
do you
curlers.
sleep on those, ladies?
I have to admit, I remember being, 3 or 4, and my mom saying that we were gonna sleep on big pink rollers, for our hair, and we wake up with curly hair. And in my head, I pictured like a bed of like giant, like almost like rollers, rolls, like big pink rolls of carpet or something like that. Because they're like, you'll sleep on the rollers, and it'll be kind of uncomfortable, but when you wake up, you'll have curly hair. And so I thought, you sleep on these giant like
and that's
rolls
how
for
it
bed,
works.
and then it just magically works. And so when she actually put these rollers in my head, I was like,
this isn't fun at
this
all.
isn't fun,
You're like-
and I don't like it.
Like, I slept like
Very
shit,
disappointing.
and now I hate the way that I look.
Then this happened.
Most kids, I'm in debt from my credit cards. I got bamboozled walking to class, and I signed up for a Citibank What's in Your Wallet. I bounce checks. Same thing. I never had a credit card, but I bounced checks. You always thought it was that.
They're
kind of
coming
thing.
for you.
Oh, I never had a credit card. I've taken care of all of it. Believe
They're
me.
coming for you now.
The time I had to go to court for AT&T,
There's a...
ooh, I pulled it out on that one. You're going to come 5 years later. Well, you made some phone calls. Fuck you. They hope that you're not going to come. Is really the thing with those court cases like that. They hope
Yeah.
you're not going to show
Right.
up.
Yeah.
So I show up, and it's this snarky guy comes up to me outside the courtroom. He has his sign Randall Dennis.
Oh, of course.
With an E, Randell. If you can't even spell my name right, that ain't my bill. I can tell you that.
Randell.
So he said, I'd love to settle this outside. And Randy told me, my dad, he's going to ask you to settle outside. Don't do it. Make him go in there. Because he doesn't want to waste his time.
Yep.
And he's on the bottom of the rung, and they're making him do this grunt work. So I said, fine, I got time. I took the day off for this. I'll wait all day. I'm not paying it. And all I had to say to the judge was, they say I have a bill. Okay, I'm here for the bill. Where is the bill? Basically, it was Whitney Houston, show me the receipts. And the judge was like, do you have the paperwork? And the guy said, no, this is just a number. I said, well, then it's just a number. All you had was basically Grady Dennis owes Randall.
It was an IOU.
Dennis.
Randall.
Because I use my first name so much.
That's not even my
Randall
name.
Dennis has a bill. Well, where is the bill? I'm like, where's the paperwork on all the phone calls? Well, we'll have to. And guess what? That case got thrown out.
Closed.
The judge was like, okay, number 3189. I was like, what? Can I go? She's like, yeah. It's like,
Do do do
Where's the bill? Show me the bill.
do 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 do.
thank you. I was waiting for somebody to join in on that.
Well, it's been another Sketch Pod, produced in Brooklyn by Grumpy Films Inc., and this time featuring the likes of Katie Aldhizer, Jamie Cruz-Velazquez, Grady Dennis, Droege, Garry Hannon, Jason Jude Hill, Ginger Kearns, Pushy Muldowney, and Daniel Sears. Keep listening, keep liking, keep sharing, keep commenting. We just love you so much for it. Mwah!